Yes, people, and welcome back to the Ram Stand. I did promise I'll give you guys a post-match reaction of the Brighton game, and look, I'm doing it right now, so you know what it is. But first of all, before we get into anything, a little bit of housekeeping as usual. Make sure you like the video. If you like the video, please give a thumbs up to it. Always helps the channel out. Comment your thoughts on the actual game itself, whether you agree with my thoughts, whether you think I'm a little bit deluded or whatever you think about the game, or even some stuff that I missed out, some of your thoughts, just pop it down in the comment section below, and then hopefully I'll get to replying to them as soon as possible. And the most important thing is subscribe to the channel and get this out there to all the people that you know, trying to grow this channel up. I appreciate the 200 subscribers that subscribe to the channel. I'm looking to build on that and get to 250 hopefully by the end of the month. But we'll see, man. I have faith in you guys that you can help this channel grow bit by bit. But let's get to the game. So obviously, Liverpool played Brighton at the Amex Stadium, and we ended up drawing 2-2 against a very decent Brighton side. Look, we can't put over the fact they've got a very good manager. They've got some decent players in their team. So you have to give them a little bit of credit. First of all, I'll go off with the game so far. So first 20 minutes of the game, as usual, as the story of this entire season, Liverpool get off to a bad start. It's a natural thing that happens this season. And I think most Liverpool fans are come to the conclusion that you just have to get used to it at times. It's not a good thing. Obviously, I'm going to be critical about it, but it's a natural thing that Liverpool always do this season, and it's getting annoying. It's getting incredibly annoying that we end up having these slow starts and we end up paying for it. So, as said before, a bad moment for us in the first 20 minutes. We end up getting a free kick, which Alisson takes, gives it to Van Dijk. Van Dijk gives it to McAllister. McAllister, sloppy on the ball, gives the ball away, and Adingra more or less has an open goal because Alisson's having tracking back to get back into his position, and Adingra makes us pay and makes it 1-0 to Liverpool. And a usual sort of theme that happens this entire season, as soon as we go a goal down, we start playing football again. And I'm getting sick and tired of it. I'd rather be starting in the first minute rather than the first 35 minutes. But like I said before, we started playing some good football, a good moment where we had some really good direct football. Szoboszlai obviously getting into the action of things, Elliott, and then obviously Núñez playing a ball towards Elliott, who lays it off. Sorry, he doesn't lay it off. He dummies it over to Mo Salah to put it in for 1v1 and makes it 1-1 to Liverpool. Next, we built on top of that. We built on the momentum that we already started from the from that goal, and a brilliant piece of play brilliant piece of pressing from our team for the first time, because every time we tried to press in the first 35 minutes, we could never even get a sniff. We couldn't even get a tackle in. But a good piece of pressing from our team. Their goalkeeper, I think his name is Verbruggen. I can't say his name. I think it's Verbruggen or something along the lines of that. Gives the ball away to Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai plays it to Núñez. Núñez plays it back to Szoboszlai. And Pascal Gross ends up pulling his shirt and conceding a penalty from that. And we will get to the penalty. We'll get to the penalty because, again, VAR, the topic of the conversation of this game, does another wrong decision. But we'll get onto that later. Obviously, a penalty to Liverpool. Mo Salah, obviously having a very shaky record of penalties this season, or even to the back end of last season. I think his last 5 penalties for Liverpool, he has missed 3 of his last 5, which is very concerning. But this one, going back to his usual stuff, slots away the penalty into the bottom left-hand corner, and we go into half-time 2-1 up against Brighton. And in the second half, we continue that good run of form that we had in the last 10 to 15 minutes of the game, of the first half. A brilliant piece of play from Núñez, holding it up, plays it into a Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai then cuts it across to Gravenberch, who came on for Harvey Elliott, and him with an open net somehow ends up hitting the bar and ends up costing us, maybe not even costing us, but were missing a very, very, very good opportunity for us to take it to 3-1. And in the end, we end up paying for it with us conceding a very stupid free kick on the left-hand side of the pitch. I think Solly March crosses the ball in. Robertson with some very lackadaisical and very, to be fair, shocking defending, fails to clear the ball, and Lewis Dunk has more or less an open net for them to equalize against us. And that's pretty much the end of it. It's pretty much the end of it. There's no other chances that we could muster in the last 12 to 15 minutes. So it does end Brighton 2, Liverpool 2. But this is a conversation that I didn't want to have. This is a conversation that I didn't want to bring up ever again. But sadly, Liverpool were undone by another poor piece of refereeing. Now, in the laws of the game, I completely understand the whole double jeopardy rule. However, the law specifically says that if you don't play for the ball and there's a deliberate aim to take out the player, then it is deemed a red card, i.e. pulling the shirt, barging a player over, trying to trip him over from the back. That is deemed as a red card offence. Now, Pascal Gross did not even try to play for the ball. He obviously pulled Szoboszlai back. But the big thing is Szoboszlai had an open goal to aim at and nothing got given for that. Obviously, I think the referees were more concerned of whether it's actually a penalty than it being a red card. But surely after you said, okay, it's a penalty, next thought process is it a goal scoring opportunity and is it a red card? And lo and behold, VAR don't do the job that is expected of them. After all the song and dance that there was the week before with obviously the Tottenham game, the Nottingham Forest game, again, VAR failed to do the fundamental thing that it was bringing to do, was to add an extra aid for the referees and also point out certain things that the referee might have missed. And it fails to do it again. And I'm sick and tired of saying this because this is not the first incident that happened this weekend. Obviously, Man City against Arsenal, Mateo Kovacic should have got a second yellow card. Again, down to that stupid protocol that they have. If it's a yellow card offence, VAR doesn't get involved. What if it's a second yellow card offence? What if it's a possible red card offence? You know, 2 yellows equals a red. If Kovacic is off the pitch, then it's a completely different game. And you could say the same for Pascal Gross. Pascal Gross was arguably Brighton's best midfielder the entire game. And again, we get undone by poor refereeing. I think when it comes to the overall game, I think Liverpool fans aren't really talking about VAR because there are more important factors. I mean, we're focusing more on the number 6 position that we have to address. We're thinking about Robertson's defending for the second goal, the inability to actually control games or even start quickly. It's been a big problem for us for the last 2 to 3 months. And now that kind of thought process is now dumbed down the actual anger that there is to VAR. More or less VAR getting away with it. And it can't happen. It can't happen. I know people are getting tired of talking about VAR. I know people are getting annoyed because VAR is not the only thing. However, we should have standards for this league. This league deserves to, the so-called best league in the world, should be officiated by the best referees and should be officiated to the highest level. And if we are incapable of doing that, then what is the actual point? What is the actual point of calling ourselves the best league if we can't officiate the games properly? And people will say, oh, but it's 10 men. Brighton are a good side. They could come back. Pascal Gross was arguably their best midfielder on that day. Even in the second half, he was making things happen, obviously dropping into the centre backs, controlling play, and obviously pinging the ball whenever is possible. Take that out. Obviously, we'll be because Salah tucked away the penalty 2-1 against a 10-man team who, in no offense to Brighton, who are, I believe, a lesser team to us in terms of actual quality on the pitch. Even for a combined 11, not many of their players get into the team compared to our players. Them being 10 men down and us with an extra man changed the entire complexion of the game. Completely changed the complexion of the game. Maybe we have more control in the midfield in the second half. Maybe they don't get as much opportunities. Maybe we might score an extra goal because of that added midfielder, because obviously Gravenberch came on, and having extra legs in that midfield may have been an advantage to us. Who knows? But from the way I see it, I feel as though if we did get the actual call that should have been given, we would have walked away with 3 points. But again, I think there's more pressing matters to be talked about, and I'll go through one of them. And these two sort of areas will be touching on each other again and again, is the absence of Curtis Jones and the role of Ryan Gravenberch. Now, everyone knows how much I've talked about Curtis Jones's absence and how important he is to the team. I talked about how the sacrifice that he makes for other players to flourish in this team is paramount. You know, the likes of Szoboszlai, you like Luis Diaz, even to an extent doing a lot of the hard yards for Alexis McAllister. All of that stuff, he's been doing that role, almost like a Wijnaldum role. His miss, especially against Brighton, was paramount. You could tell there was no control. We couldn't keep the ball together. One thing that people criticize with Curtis Jones, which I don't get, is that they always plays the backwards passes or sideways passes. No, he plays the safe passes because he wants to keep possession and keep the ball ticking. That's what we lacked in that first 35 minutes. That's what we lacked especially when we conceded that goal. We failed to keep a hold of possession. We tried to play football, tried to play this direct football, and it just didn't work. Tried to play that Hollywood ball all the time, and it just didn't work. The one benefit of Curtis Jones, obviously, the legs that he has in covering certain areas of the pitch, not certain areas, every single area of the pitch, but also keeping a hold of the ball, and that's what we failed to do, and it's a big, big problem. And we saw it. I saw it when we brought on Elliott, and we'll go and touch on Ryan Gravenberch on this as well. Klopp made a mistake. Klopp made a fundamental mistake in playing Harvey Elliott instead of Ryan Gravenberch. The fact that Elliott is a player that doesn't have much legs when it comes to covering the areas of the pitch, and I wouldn't say he has the certain qualities that would be beneficial against a team like Brighton. Brighton are a very hard-working team and cover a lot of ground, and obviously the distance covered is one of the best in the league. It's probably arguably better than ours. So having a player that doesn't have that stamina and legs to cover certain areas of the pitch, fundamental mistake. And this is where we touch upon Ryan Gravenberch. Ryan Gravenberch, for his first couple of games in the Europa League, has shown himself to be a proper player. He's shown himself to have good control of the ball, a very good, strong runner with the ball, and also can cover multiple areas of the pitch. Leaving him out on such a high after obviously scoring his first goal against Union Saint-Gilloise, I can't say the name, against USG. I'll call him Union. After scoring his first goal against Union at Anfield, confidence would have been sky high for him. And the fact that Jurgen Klopp left him out of this team after he's shown himself to be one of the best players in every single game that he's played in, fundamental error, man. And you saw the confidence he had and the raw ability that he has. And the whole team played better when he was on the pitch compared to Elliott. If there's one thing that we take out from this game, it's the fact that Ryan Gravenberch should be the next name on the list when Curtis Jones is absent. Because Curtis Jones is absent for the Merseyside derby and he's absent against Nottingham Forest. The next name on the list, Ryan Gravenberch. 100%. If it's something to do with fitness error, then play him for like 60 to 70 minutes, then bring on Elliott. Elliott is the kind of player, when the game is a lot more stretched and he has a lot more time on the ball, he can do his thing. That's why he's been so good off the bench, has so much more time on the ball, has the right amount of time to look up and try and pick out a certain ball for players to score their goals. That's what he's been really, really good at. So that's my main thoughts on it. You know, Ryan Gravenberch has shown himself to be a proper player, and I think he does deserve a couple of starts in the Nets. couple of games. Now, obviously, before I get on to the next topic, I have to do that again, housekeeping. Like the video if you like the video, guys, and obviously comment on your thoughts. Am I being a bit over the top with Ryan Gravenberch's performance? Am I saying, is Ryan Gravenberch ready to play for Liverpool? I certainly think so. But do you guys, most importantly, do you guys believe that Ryan Gravenberch is ready to play for Liverpool at this moment? Not even play start for Liverpool in the next couple of games. Now, I've seen a lot of this on social media. A lot of this fan base overreaction. You know, I've seen a lot of the fan base say, "Oh, we overhyped these players. Oh, we thought they were good enough to win the league. They're nowhere near Arsenal. They're nowhere near City. Like we're not ready at all." And again, it's the overreaction from the fan base. You know, we do have a squad that is good enough. We have one of the best attacks in Europe, let alone the league, in Jota, Salah, Nunez, Gakpo, and Diaz. Those 5 players could start for any top team, arguably in Europe. Any 5 of them. And obviously our midfield, it's a new midfield. We've got so many talented players. McAllister's a talented player. Szoboszlai is a talented player. I'll get on to McAllister later because there's a lot of talk about him. They're all talented players. They just need time to bed into the system. They need time to actually understand the players that they're around. Obviously, Szoboszlai came in and fit in like a glove, but McAllister's finding it difficult. It's understandable. And the defense, that's my main worry. My main worry is the defense. But I still think, take out stupid defensive errors or lapses in judgment. We probably have more clean sheets than we actually have. I think we only got 1 clean sheet in our opening 8 games. All the goals that we've conceded are stupid lapses in error of judgment. Not actually ways in which the teams have actually broken us down bit by bit. The West Ham game, giving away possession in such a stupid area, then they just quickly counter us. Lapses in judgment. Brighton, Van Dijk playing that ball to McAllister when there's 3 men on him. And McAllister not thinking quickly to play the ball to Robertson. Error in judgment. Robertson, when he's making that stupid piece of defending, not even defending, is lackluster. I don't even know what that was. Error in judgment. And we need to stop this. I'm not saying that is something that, we could just brush under the carpet. We need to address this. We need to tell these players that, no, it's a 90-minute game. You need to be on it from minute 1 to minute 90, maybe minute 100, depending on the added time. We need to get these guys 100% on the game. And that's a big problem. I'm not going to sit here and say, it's not a problem. It is. We want to win football matches. We want to win trophies. And to have these lapses in judgment and errors in judgment, it needs to be addressed. And I guarantee you that is something that Jurgen Klopp is saying to them at this moment in time. Maybe not at this moment in time, but when they come back to Liverpool. I guarantee you that. And I have faith in these players. And I'll say this again to all the Liverpool fans that is doubting it. Other than Manchester City, we are the only team that know how to win the Premier League. These players know how to win the Premier League. Not Arsenal, maybe Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko, but we're talking about a squad that knows how to win league titles. Majority of them is us. Majority of the squad, we know how to win league titles, especially against Manchester City. Arsenal don't. Arsenal couldn't handle it last season. And I still think this is probably the best opportunity. It's a transition season for City. That don't mean that they're not going to be up there. They're definitely going to be up there. Their transition season is probably going to be high 80 points. Maybe even like mid 80 points. So if you want to take advantage of this, this is the season to do it. This is a season to challenge, defy the odds, and actually challenge for the league title. If we don't win it, then so be it. We don't win it. I don't think we're going to win it. I think we're 1 year short. I think give it 1 more year, we will probably win it. But I still expect this team to challenge. I still expect the quality of players that we have in our squad to challenge for the league title. If we don't, then it'll be a disappointing season. regardless if we win Europa League or we go far in the EFL Cup or FA Cup, it'll still be a disappointing season. And I need to remind all of you people, we are 3 points behind Arsenal. It is not the end of the world. I will repeat, 3 points behind Arsenal. And people think it's the end of the world. I think is absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous, in my opinion. But lastly, and I think this is a big talking point for all that is concerned about Liverpool, is this player. I apologize for that, people. Alexis McAllister. Alexis McAllister, flipping Cricket World Cup and interrupting my stream. Alexis McAllister. Alexis McAllister is a player that has been talked about by Liverpool, and many people in the actual footballing world, or even the grand scheme, not even talk about Liverpool, we're talking about the entire footballing sphere, been saying he's not a 6. He's been an underwhelming signing. Liverpool are lucky they spent 30 odd million pounds on him, because if he was a lot higher, he would be talked about as one of the flops of the season. And I agree. I think his performances have been disappointing. I still believe that he's utilized in such a very wrong way. He's utilized in a way where he's expected to do the hard yards, playing as a DM for Liverpool. And I repeat, playing as a DM for Liverpool is completely different to playing as a DM for Argentina, for Brighton, for United, for City. It's completely different. And it's probably the most demanding roles in the entirety of football, in my opinion, especially the entirety of the Premier League. Playing as a 6 for Jurgen Klopp's team is one of the most demanding positions in the Premier League. And we're playing a guy that's rarely played as a 6, if not only played as a double pivot 6, where he had someone like a Caicedo or a Rodrigo de Paul next to him. So asking him to play a position that he's not very associated with and not very comfortable with, but expecting him to play at a world-class standard. I want to say, a very, very good standard. It's a bit asking for too much, in my opinion. It is. And again, a lot of this goes down to Jurgen Klopp. If you want to play with a 6, you've got someone like Endo. And I don't care if you're not convinced by him. It will probably be more beneficial for someone like a McAllister if he plays as an 8 rather than a 6. And that's something that I question Jurgen Klopp. If you bought him to play as an 8, why is he playing as a 6? Or if he wanted a 6 so desperately, why didn't he get a proper 6? Why didn't you go far? Why didn't you go forward for someone like a Palhinha? Or if you're so desperate for a 6, why didn't you go for someone like Florentino Luis or something like that? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And I'm seeing people saying like, "Oh, he's not good enough for Liverpool. We should send him back to Brighton." I've been seeing those comments flying around on the Twitter Spaces and also on YouTube. And all I got to say to them is, we've seen players come in the first 2 months and absolutely looked shocking. But in 4 to 5 months later, they look like one of the best players in the world. Best players in their position. So I'm going to say this. Why aren't you being patient? Why aren't you being patient? We've got good enough players that could cover those deficiencies. But once they get going, once they get to know the system, it will be a big, big problem for the entire league. That's all I've got to say to it, man. I think people are being incredibly reactionary about it. And I think people are expecting certain players to live up to certain standards, even though they're playing in different position. You know, makes no sense to my opinion. Makes no sense. But people, this is the end of the Liverpool post-match reaction. I appreciate you guys watching until the end. Make sure you like the video if you like the video. Leave a comment down in the comment section below. What do you think of my ideas? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's absolute nonsense? Do you think, Ram's talking sense, he's talking facts, as I always do? Or do you think Ram's just being a little bit over the top? Liverpool aren't really that good, but they could be. I believe that they can do well this season. I think they could challenge. But I want to know what your thoughts are on this team and on the club itself. And lastly, and most importantly, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all the people that have subscribed. I've just hit 210 subscribers, if I'm not mistaken, 210, 208 subscribers. I'm looking to build on that, though. I want 250 subscribers by the end of the month, man. Please help me get on to 250 subscribers, man. That's all I'm asking for. Make sure you get this out to your mum, your dad, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your aunt, your uncle, your pet dog, your pet cat, heck, your pet goldfish. I don't even know. Just get this out there on the socials and get this channel growing. We're on the road to 250 subscribers by the end of the month. I appreciate you, all you people watching the video, and I'll see you guys probably either this Thursday, which is tomorrow, or next Tuesday on a Liverpool season review so far. Obviously, 4th in the league, 3 points behind Arsenal, still in the EFL Cup and top of our Europa League group. And just my thoughts on the overall, what players have played well so far. I'll be doing a live stream on that, hopefully either tomorrow or on Tuesday during this international break. I'll get some guests on as well just to make this a little bit more interesting. But yeah, people, I appreciate you watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.